Hello. I came across this thread here on X and it shows Lee Anderson looking purposeful and Jess Phillips, and this picture must have been taken a few years ago before she sold her soul. And it says here that a lot of people say they're feeling sorry for Jess Phillips after Lee Anderson accused her of a cover-up over the grooming gangs. I'm going to go through the thread and talk about some of the issues it raises. I'm granniopteryx. If you're in the UK and want to watch me on either Gab or BitChute, you'll need a VPN to do it because they're blocked for our Starmatopia. But never fear, I'm also on x.com, YouTube, Rumble and Minds, which are not blocked, at least not for the time being. All right, so it says here a lot of people are feeling sorry for Jess Phillips after Lee Anderson asked if she was involved in a cover-up. Actually, I feel sorry for Phillips anyway, because as I've said on other occasions, she sold her soul and she isn't such an evil person that she can just shrug that off. There's no doubt she really doesn't like the situation and it's eating her up. I can imagine what happened. I can imagine that Yvette Cooper and possibly a couple of others invited her round for a chat. You know, like the police are inviting ordinary citizens round for a chat after they've made Facebook posts that are less than complimentary to the migrant issue or the 5 times a day wailing that's coming through a loudspeaker from the local mosque or whatever. But I digress. Jess Phillips, I'm pretty sure, was invited round to head office and told that if she didn't bend the knee to the local Muslim vote, then at the next election, the Muslim vote will go to some so-called independent Muslim fundamentalist. So for the good of her career, for the good of the party, nay, for the good of the country, she should agree not to step on any Muslim toes. In the last election, by the way, she won by less than 1,000 votes. And she's probably seen the logic of that argument and is following it. But you know what? Like most deals with the devil, she'll find herself abandoned. Come the next election, I can predict she'll be there on her own while the happy crowds cluster around the new Muslim fundamentalist independent. And I want to show you this nice little video just to give you a foretaste. Here we are. Let's have a listen to this.
We will only truly get real power if we just have more Pakistanis sitting in council chambers and parliaments, but actually having more Pakistanis and South Asians sitting in the corridors of power making the decisions. And that's where I'll end tonight, is to say the change is coming. And the days where our South Asian community are viewed as a vote bank or a curry bank are well and truly gone. The days where South Asian communities get to lead political parties and get to lead countries is now upon us. The days when South Asian communities get to decide not just which school our children go to, but what they are taught in those schools is also coming. Not just which school our children go to, but what they are taught in those schools is also coming.
Right. I suppose you will find that very reassuring, won't you? So let's go over to full screen and take a look at the confrontation between Jess Phillips and Lee Anderson. OK, let's hear what Lee Anderson has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thousands of young, white, British working class girls have been raped, tortured and abused by Pakistani grooming gangs, and yet this minister here refuses to support a full national public inquiry. And what I want to know is, Mr. Speaker, is she part of the cover-up?
It really doesn't. It doesn't deserve a response, and I actually quite like the honourable gentleman. I have spent my entire career helping. I wonder how many victims he has sat and held hands with in court of grooming gangs, how many he's gone round to their house in the morning to get them out of bed, to get them into a courtroom. There is absolutely no way that I would be part of any cover-up. I will do everything I can under a Home Secretary who will do everything she can to make sure that those who are responsible are held accountable.
Let's go over that again now, and we'll leave aside how messy Miss Phillips looks. Yeah, she looks like I'd look after a couple of hours of ironing, and possibly for the same reason. She looks tired, doesn't she? Now, you've seen it playing through, so now I'm going to make a couple of points about how Miss Phillips is talking.
It really doesn't. It doesn't deserve a response.
Can you hear how emotional she is? I mean, she really is upset, and that's, I think, genuine.
I actually quite like the honourable gentleman. I have spent my entire career helping. I wonder how many victims he has sat and held hands with in court of grooming gangs, how many he's gone round to their house in the morning to get them out of bed, to get them into a courtroom.
Now, if she were really serious about this, she wouldn't call them grooming gangs, would she? She'd call them rape gangs, which is what they were, or even slaving gangs, which is also what they were. So she's sticking to the party line on that.
There is absolutely no way that I would be part of any cover-up.
Do you notice something very interesting about how she's disporting herself now? She was talking to Lee Anderson and she was looking at him. But then when she starts saying, there's no way I would be part of any cover-up, she's nodding her head and she's looking down. She can't look at Lee Anderson anymore. And I don't think she can look at herself either. Here, let's just go back over that.
There is absolutely no way that I would be part of any cover-up. I will do everything I can.
Head down, head down.
Under a Home Secretary who will do everything she can.
And now she's shifting some of the responsibility off her own shoulders to the Home Secretary. I'm quite sure that the Home Secretary is more than half responsible for the mess that Jess Phillips has turned into now. But yeah, she's bringing the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, into it to help shoulder that burden. And she's hunched over while she's doing it.
To make sure that those who are responsible are held accountable.
Yeah, and the thing is, those who are responsible are the people in Oldham Council, aren't they? The old councillors. All right, let's get back to the main page. Look, she really did feel the girl's pain. But again, there's no doubt she has form on some of this, even before she quite sold her soul. Hang on, I just wanted to make this a bit bigger. Here you are. Now, this is in response to a question somebody asked about sexual violence to women and girls. And she's starting to talk about an incident that happened in Cologne. It was New Year's Eve, and there were a lot of people out there outside the church, in the square outside the church. And there was a concerted effort. There's no doubt about it. It was a coordinated, concerted effort by a huge group of young Middle Eastern or Pakistani men, something like that. I am not entirely clear, but definitely Muslim men. And they were en masse attacking the women, and I believe it was covered up, but there were some really serious sexual assaults, apart from the usual grabbing and groping. And she knew that, and this is what she said.
There is violence against women and girls that you are describing A very similar situation to what happened in Cologne could be described on Broad Street in Birmingham every week, where women are baited and heckled.
You'd wonder who they were baited and heckled by. But in any case, I don't think that it was anywhere near the seriousness of what happened in Cologne, which was very carefully curated by the government, the German government, and the news media to whom they were giving instructions. So even then, and this was 2016, 2017, something like that, she had the capability to ignore that which is inconvenient to her, which is probably why the government see her as such an asset. But there's absolutely no doubt there's been a cover-up, and I'll just go through all the people who think there's been a cover-up when I find it again. Here we are. Well, all these people here, they're going to an Oldham Council meeting. Look at them. They're all standing there in the visitors' gallery. They think there's a cover-up, and you'd think these are the parents of the victims. They know very well what's been going on. And then the next one, Suella Braverman. She's talking to Mike Goodwin there. She's a Conservative and thinks there's been a cover-up. And then the other end of the political spectrum, Trevor Phillips, he thinks there's been a cover-up as well. So these are all people who know quite a bit about what's going on. And if they think there's been a cover-up, I tend to, at least listen to them. But most damning of all, there's this. This is quite shocking. It's a GB News report. And just listen to what the reporter is saying. He's talking about a man called Marlon West, who is the father of one of the victims.
GB News can also reveal this afternoon that Marlon West met with the Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips in November, where he introduced to her his demand for a national public inquiry. However, in minutes that were sent to him later after the meeting, all references to a national public inquiry were removed, and instead there was talk of a national strategy.
They actually wiped the minutes of the Marlon West's meeting with Jess Phillips, where he asked, as the father of a victim, where he asked for an inquiry, and that was removed from the minutes. So that means that Jess Phillips knows there's a cover-up as well. And what are the MSM? This is all GB News, if you notice, and X posts on x.com. What are the MSM doing about all of this? Well, please forgive the expression, bugger all. That's what they're doing. Instead, they are concentrating on the most important topic du jour. And that most important topic is, how many female impersonators with big boobs can you get inside a toilet cubicle? OK, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.